Okay. Uh, so my name is Alex, and this is our synopsis generator. So it is important to give a movie a name that simultaneously intrigues an audience and pertains to what a film may be about. However, it can be challenging to know if a title gives the audience a good idea of what they're signing up for. By using RAI to compare a movie's plot to our generated synopsis, filmmakers can find a title that fits. By inputting a made-up title, our AI can generate an original synopsis that summarizes what the movie, anime, or TV show could be about. The AI scans the input title and uses keywords from our database to create a matching summary, as well as generating positive and negative comments. So the picture on the right is kind of shows examples of what our AI has generated. And if we scroll down a bit, this is our tech stack. We made use of Python, HTML, CSS, and AI text gen, GPT-2, and sentiment analysis model in the making of this AI.
All right, so in our generator, as mentioned before, you can use a real movie or TV show or a made-up title. We use the totally legit movie Space Movie 2 as our example, and it produces a summary every time, and you could toggle off positive and negative reviews. As we see, the summary has different subjects and phrases that relate to the theme of the keywords you put in. This is great for writers and storytellers that want ideas for a plot or just characters or anything along the line. It's great for ideas. And the positive and negative reviews are a great contrast for any pros and cons you would like to see when you're about to watch a show. And we also censor curse words you can see in the asterisks through post-processing. We also made sure that every generation ends in a period, so it makes sense. And we mess around with the min and max length to make sure that it's not too long but not too short, so you get enough information. Overall, it's a really effective generator because it has multiple purposes. You can use it for ideas as a fun outlet to actually see whether a show is good or not. And if we're putting in the office here in TV shows to show that a real show is not copy and paste and that it is a legit generator and that it gives random stuff with very interesting generations.
Hello, everybody. So I'm going to talk about our creation process. So we first decided what the topic of our AI, and then we discussed what we want our AI to do and look like, our goals and interests. And at the end, we came up with the idea of a synopsis and review generator. From there, we started looking for datasets. All our datasets are from Kaggle. We have some anime, TV show, and movie synopsis, and also a lot of comments and reviews. We then started preparing our data, converted text into vectors using Word2Vec. And then we started preprocessing all our data using NLTK. Backend started working on training our AI, while front end started working on the web page. And our final task was to deploy our product to the web with Flask. So now the question is, why a synopsis and review generator? We wanted an idea creation or brainstorming tool, something that could be helpful and fun at the same time. So we thought a synopsis and review generator could inspire a lot of writers and filmmakers, and it could create a lot of random ideas to help them. So our product is also a fun outlet that generates really fun and silly ideas. So yeah, it's really fun as well.
Hi, so I'm Rori. Like Camilla mentioned earlier, the dataset that we use were all taken from Kaggle, and they range pretty heavily in terms of their size, anywhere from around 5,000 to 85,000, various synopses, summaries, comments, reviews. So we had to cut that all down for the actual processing. And some of the datasets came from sites like IMDb, MyAnimeList, and Metacritic. As for the actual training aspect, we had to deal with some pre-processing first. We had to get rid of extra ellipses, tags, other punctuation issues, grammatical errors. We also had to deal with the fact that the AI only takes in CSV files, so we had to convert from CSV, edit it, and then back to CSV before feeding it into the actual AI. And then as for how long it took, the AIs would take anywhere from around half hour to 6 hours to train the model. So it could take potentially pretty long, especially for the ones with a bigger data set and they were more complicated. And then we decided to split them up into 9 separate AIs because we have 3 different categories of movie, anime, and TV shows. And then we also have a summary generator, a positive comment generator, and a negative comment generator for all 3 of those.
For the front end side of things, we initially planned on writing HTML from scratch. We ultimately changed our minds, however, and found a template. We changed most of the things on the template, but the presence of a pre-existing structure allowed us to progress much faster than we otherwise would have been able to.
During the developing process, we overcome a lot of difficulties at the backend. At very first, we tried to combine all those databases into one, because just as Rori mentioned before, we eventually decided to train 9 separate AIs. But at first, we tried to train a one for all AI, which is almighty AI. But it turned out to be very, very hard, almost impossible, because the GPT-2 model only accepts CSV files, and it is very hard to edit those CSV files. So eventually we changed our mind. And during the training process, we found that the RAM is very easy to be run out, maybe because the database is too big, maybe because it's just because Google provides the RAM Google provides are not that big. So in order to fix this issue, we have to edit the source code of Python 3.7. This is pretty hard, but after all, it works. And we tried to make AI have a tendency. We wanted to can generate positive and negative. And in order to do that, at first we tried to use a function called Synopsis. I mean sentiment, not Synopsis. But sentiment function is very hard to use. I think only one of the AI is able to use that. And later we splitted our database into half positive and half negative. And in that way, we can make sure that each AI can get the information that they should get. And it works pretty well. These are some difficulties we meet in the back end, and the front end fellows will share some difficulties they meet in the front end developing.
Yeah, so I was in the front end, and as Lance said, at the beginning, we wanted to create our web page from scratch. But at the end, we went for a template to edit, to make the process easier, faster, and especially to make the web page look better. Then we had a couple of issues with some buttons or images, but beside that, it went pretty good. We didn't have many problems, but yeah, even though it took kind of a long time to put everything together. But yeah, it was great job, everyone. So.
And I would like to get credits for everyone in our team. Here are the credits page for our team. I'm so proud of us, to be honest. I think that wraps up our presentation. And before ending that, I would like to do some playground time. I would like to get a volunteer who put some random prompts in the chat, please, and I will use the anime button, which we haven't tried before. I will use this one to generate some random things. And by the way, it is multilingual. I don't know why, because maybe that's because there are some other languages in the database, but it is a little bit multilingual.
Let's do Florida Man.
Okay, I will try Florida Man for the anime one. And based on the database, like based on the amount of the data each models use, I think there are some difference between the time it costs to generate things. For example, the TV show goes the fastest. Yes, that's the correct word. And the movie goes the second one, and the anime, because it has the biggest database, so it's spent the most time to generate things, I should say. So you can see, oh, it works. Seems pretty civilized. Seems like a real review. Oh my God. Follows the Dory and his friends on their journey through an alternate world of Fairies and ice cream. Okay, seems pretty Florida. Okay, that's the end of our presentation. Thanks for your patience.